to the experience.
I think we have a decently diverse campus. It's definitely more diverse than back home for me. I'm from a small town.
Not being able to have the food I had back home was definitely one things that affected me almost instantly. I was like, I don't eat hamburgers every day. I can't eat pasta every day. I'm used to tortillas, rice, beans, salsa, and those foods aren't available at Safeway at Walmart here. So when I go home, I stock up, bring a van full of food, and then I live hungry for about a month and a half. But the transition from to food I can make myself to food my mom made, I learned to cook little by little. So it's not as bad anymore.
I haven't seen overt prejudice, but I do see some students who are not aware of their own privileges and maybe don't understand that some people come from different backgrounds with the different disadvantages that the other people don't have.
My personal experience being a student of color at WSU, I have seen the microaggressions, the subtle hints of racism, or I have seen the overt racism, right, or the overt prejudice. I have seen that. I have experienced that. But just as much as I've experienced that, I have experienced that people are not willing to tolerate it. And I think that stood out just as much.
Definitely, I would appeal to the fact that I've seen a lot of subtle racism and just a lot of people trying to be funny, but it's not actually funny, and it actually does hurt people, like the things that people say, and just making jokes about a certain race or gender or sex and all that kind of thing. Racism in that sense, and just a lot of lack of awareness just about certain issues. Like I said with my roommate, he didn't really know exactly how a family functioned if it had like gay parents. And obviously, I mean, I'd like to think I developed all right, but he kind of didn't have he didn't really have a sense of that. And so just kind of lack of awareness is the way that I've seen, and lack of knowledge is the way that I've seen racism or discrimination.
I have these two classes that has been opening my eyes and head a lot, which is intercultural communication, and I think the other one is intercultural processes in global context. So it's this idea of globalization, moving from movement of people, and the fact that I came here and experiencing the American culture and then going back to my culture, which is different, obviously, and to adapt to that, it's an experience where I'm like battling myself inside, like what's going to happen. I have like new ideas now about freedom, about equality and whatnot, and then when I go back, it's not the same, and there's other stuff going on there. There's also this political stuff as well, and that would be something that I've trying to get out of from this thing. So
one question that I heard a few times was, why isn't there a white center on campus, or why isn't there a white student union, or things of that nature. And it's important to realize that, like I said, there's people coming from communities where they were the majority, now they've become the minority. And we want to make this institution a community for everybody. And we want to make this institution a place where everybody feels welcome and everybody feels valued. And it's important to make it known to those populations that you are welcome here. You have a space to call home. You have a community to call home. And because it is a predominantly white institution, a lot of people are looking around for people that look like them or people that they can identify with. So that's why we have those different centers. And all of those centers are open to everybody. And that's the really exciting part, is that it's such an open and diverse community, that we're so proud about the diverse population that we have here. And we're so embracing of, you're a student of color and you're a student from so many different backgrounds, but we're all Cougs.
We are increasingly a racially and ethnically diverse campus, which is wonderful for us. We're beginning to reflect the state of Washington, which is really important. We're certainly diverse in terms of sexual orientation and gender identity. diverse in that we have almost 38% first-generation students, so students who come from a variety of backgrounds where college has not been a family tradition. We have a wide spread of socioeconomic class, just every kind of difference. And we're very intentional about that too. We're not going to make the assumption that people who are different will naturally connect well. We want to provide support and challenge so that everyone can feel fully welcome with all of who they are on our campus. That's really important to us.